Hey Fit Fam, it is Coach Rant from Team Flex. Today we're going to dive into the AGP Bikini Pro and we're going to look at our top 5 competitors. We're going to go over the criteria, what judges are looking for, why they place these athletes the way they did, and what it means for you at any level of competitor that you are, whether you've never competed before going into your first competition, whether you're trying to get that pro card or you already got it. I'm going to tell you the stuff that you need to know to do your best in bikini division, and that's exactly what I'm always doing on this channel. So if you're new here, hang out with me, hit that subscribe button, okay? YouTube does not love bodybuilding, but every time you smash that subscriber or give me a thumbs up, we say, hey, yes, we want you to. We really do. All right, so let's get into AGP here. So this is Bikini Pro comp just went down, and we're going to look at our top 5. So right here in the center of the screen, we got Dahe, okay? And so, you know, guys, these names are not in my first known language, so bear with me here if I am not pronouncing these correct. We got Lee over here in second place. We got G over here in third place. And this is our top 3 we're going to look at first. So right out the gate with Dahe, you can see, you know, she really is coming into full shape. All these ladies really do exemplify the criteria very, very well as far as maintaining our hourglass. That's what bikini is made of. So we got the upper body, you know, starting the kind of top portion of that hourglass, the narrow effect in the waist on all 3 of these ladies here, and then it comes back out in the lower body with the glutes and the quads and the hamstrings, etc., right, creating this hourglass aesthetic. So if you're new here or you're trying to learn about bikini, everything in bikini revolves around the hourglass shape. The better your hourglass can be, the better you're going to place. All right, I'll tell you that right out the gate. So the hourglass, however, is not made of just getting lean. It's not made of just having the shreds, so to speak, that everybody's always worried about. It's actually about building the muscle, okay? So that's how all these ladies here, they are exemplifying criteria very well, and they have a lot of muscle to do so, okay? So we're looking here. We can see good fullness to the shoulders on all 3 ladies. This is what you got to have. You got to have that kind of rounding effect, not so much the capping or the really deep, big delts, but you do need to have that roundness to create that shape. And also what you got to focus on is, we don't talk about this a lot, nobody else talks about this, but you really want to have the arms match, right? You want to have that arm size. That bicep and tricep needs to look pretty symmetrical to what you got going on with the delts at that point, because if you got these super big developed shoulders and you got, you know, arms that have way too much development, bad news bears. Or, you know, if you got the shoulders and everything's looking good there, but you got arms that look like you never lift a weight a day in your life, bad news bears. All right, so you want to make sure you have nice symmetry there. You don't want the arms to be overpowering, you know, you don't want them to be distracting, but you do want to have that symmetrical zone there with the bicep and the tricep to show, you know, a better exemplification of what the shoulders are doing. All right, so that's what creates that upper body width. Now the lats, another thing we don't talk about a lot in bikini, because of course the hair is down in the back. You know, in the back pose we'll see in just a second, you're not going to even see their back, but lats actually are pretty powerful if you have the width to create this kind of sweep effect of that hourglass, that upper body bit that sweeps us right down to the waist. So you'll see all 3 of these ladies here definitely sweeping. They got a lot of sweep going on with that lat. So it is a powerful thing. You do want to still be training your back as a bikini competitor, you know, especially for width. Not as much depth, obviously, don't really need that, but the width of it can really help, okay? And so we look at the narrow waist effect of all 3 ladies here. We got the oblique line. This is something you'll see very commonly in a lot of bikini competitors, especially at the top level. However, it is not from direct ab training, right? This is mostly from, you know, doing obvious compound lifts and things of that nature, and then just getting conditioned enough. So the conditioning, you know, in bikini is all about showing the soft lines, the separations, but no striations, no deep cuts, no graininess, no deep, you know, veininess either. All that kind of stuff. That harder conditioning, if you will, is for the classes up in like figure, women's physique, women's bodybuilding, where it gets leaner and leaner and leaner, okay? So when you look at the upper bodies on these 3 ladies, very, very similar in a lot of ways, but also a little bit different, right? So G over here, I think she's got almost a little bit too upper body dominance going on here. Looking at this front shot, her lower does look pretty nice and symmetrical with it, but it's just not as, you know, pronounced as her upper body. When I look at this shot and I see this, okay, her upper body's taking the show for me, and I think that could be a little bit, you know, a factor that could have hurt her there somewhat. Maybe not, you know, it's just my opinion, but I do think that, you know, our winner here, Dahe, she has, you know, very good shoulder shape, very good symmetry, nice sweep from the lat into the waist, and all that looks pretty symmetrical to me. And over here, looking at Lee, you know, this is very close in the upper body to Dahe. I think that it's very, very tight shape they could have had there. It could have been any which way. And when we look at lower, that's where we start to see some differences, okay? So one of the blatant differences you'll notice right away in our top 3 is in this actual shot. You know, it looks like Dahe has the softest level of condition out of these 3 in the lower body, okay? So we can see the soft line from the glute, not too much here, but just a little bit in the quad and the hamstring. And, you know, her overall look lower body just looks a little bit softer than it does over here on Lee. Lee's got a bit more pronounced glute, bit more pronounced quad, and you can start to see even, you know, some shapes in her non-standing leg, if you will, right? And over here with G, she's got even more pronunciation of this. We're seeing a lot more, so even more conditioned in the lower body. So it is definitely an interesting reflection to see that that is a factor here in this front pose, right? The softer conditioning in bikini in this shot, at least in this call out, right? This top 3 is actually paying off for Dahe here. She's actually pulling that together. Now, lower body wise, looking at the muscle, you know, I think she does have the most symmetrical look again. You know, we can see the upper glute is developed. Overall glute is full. Hamstring matches the glutes. Quads match the glutes. Everything is very nice there and symmetrical. We look over here at Lee, very close again, but I think she's getting more, you know, she's got this glute shape. She's got the hamstring shape. But her quads are almost overpowering this shot just a little bit, right? So I think a little bit more symmetrical work on the lower body balance there could be good. And that also may be, in fact, you know, her quads could be more dominant, a little bit bigger, and that's why we're getting more pop of them, you know, than we are with Dahe. So that's a factor for sure. And G over here, she's almost got a little bit of the opposite effect. Her hamstrings look not nearly as developed, but her glutes look very, very developed. So a little bit of an asymmetry there, I think, as well, and that can be a factor. So keep in mind, by the way, if you're watching here and you're new here, we're talking about the top 3 at a pro competition, okay? And we're about to be talking about the top 5 at a pro competition. So all really great representations of the criteria across the board. Don't get me wrong. We're just talking about how the placings and criteria could, you know, shift depending. So I'll pick up the pace here on this video. I know I'm getting a little in depth today, but let's go. So looking from the back, we always say on this channel, bikini is one from the back, and it really is, because this is a huge judging point for judges. This is where they really get to know, do you have the right amount of muscle? Do you have the right condition? Do you have everything it takes to win that whole show? Well, this is where we find out, okay? And so looking at our top 3 still, we got Dahe right here, we got Lee over here, and then we got G over here, okay? Just for reference, you guys, same exact spots. Now, with this, you can see right out the gate, clearly Dahe is taking the cake in this back pose. I mean, she has really nice symmetry. Her shoulders are popping just the right amount. It's tapering into her waist nicely. This is the great upper glass shape we're talking about, upper hourglass shape, if you will. Her glutes are definitely, you know, the most pronounced right here. So she looked a little bit softer in her conditioning in that front pose, lower body. In the back, she's really pulled it together here, and it's actually because of that depth of the muscle. So you can see her glutes overall, very good upper glute fullness, overall good glute fullness. The tie-in, you can see the whole thing all the way into the glute, hamstring, that separation, but she's hitting it perfectly in the sense of, you know, there is no deep cut, there is no striation, there is no graininess. We see the fullness of the glute muscle coming into the hamstring fullness, and you can see that separation. The conditioning here, I would say, is spot on, really, really close to perfect, if not perfect, okay? So definitely, even though she looked a little bit softer in the front, you know, in conditioning, in the back, it makes a big difference. And I'll tell you the reason is because she has the most muscle in her glutes and her hamstrings out of these other 2 in this top 3. So that makes a massive, massive difference. And overall, you know, looking at the other athletes, still a really good exemplification of the criteria. We got good shoulder shape, shape, good taper here. Her glutes are just not powerful enough here. And I can see, you know, the quads kind of taking over this back pose a bit. And so if she adds a little bit more size to the glute, definitely going to be able to climb ranks and, you know, possibly have beaten Dahe at this sense, okay? And then looking over here, G, you know, she looked dominant in the glute from the front, but it's just not showing up the same in the back. So, you know, it's different. It's interesting how each pose can look a little different depending how you pose for one. Also, what looks strong, and then what happens when you get to the back, and this is what happens for bikini competitors all the time, is they look really good in one of these two poses, but they're not looking great in both. And so, you know, judges are always looking for that kind of flaw zone, if you will. They're looking for the pose that's going to be off, because that's what they're going to score you on the most. They'll get the most insight and the most information from you looking at that. So, you know, here just needs more upper glute, really, honestly. Her upper glute doesn't look as full, and I mean, from the front, it really did kind of look like that anyway. It looks like her upper glute needs a lot more work. Overall, glute size looks good there, but in the back, it's just not correlating. It's not translating. So more glute size for her, especially go and stand up against Dahe. I mean, that's really what we're looking at here. So definitely really good examples. Now let's look at our fourth and fifths. So I'm going to leave Dahe in the middle, our winner, class winner. We're going to pull in fourth and fifth here now of this competition, because I think you really get to see the gap kind of widen and really more exemplification of what criteria is, right? Right as I pull this up, a lot of you watching are probably like, holy crap, a lot of different looks going on here, and that is exactly what happens. And this will happen at NPC level too. So if you're not a pro, you don't got to look exactly like this to be competing or getting anything out of this video, right? Like most people don't. But the criteria, we can really see at the pro level on a deeper level, deeper insight into exactly what everybody's doing here, okay? So now we look, we are bringing in Charlotte here, taking fourth place, and then Mengru, okay? And again, you guys, I'm not sure how to say these names 100% accurately. I'm doing my best. If anybody knows pronunciation and you want to correct me, please feel free to do that, and I will use it in future videos. Okay, so here's what we got. That's our fourth and our fifth place there, up against our middle Dahe here. And now you can really see, okay, some messages from judges. So Charlotte, for example, coming into the scene, really dominant upper body look, okay? So way bigger delts than we're seeing, bigger bicep and tricep. She's got even a trap kind of effect here, right? Her traps look bigger, her lats look bigger. Overall, much more muscle on her physique. Also, tighter conditioning than anyone we've talked about so far. So she's got a lot more muscle and a lot more conditioning, and she's placing fourth. So the answer in bikini here is not necessarily more muscle and more conditioning. Keep that in mind. I know all you bikini competitors out here really do get caught up in your head about being bigger and being especially leaner. Like everybody's chasing the shreds. But if the shreds are not fitting your physique the right way, it's not going to help you, right? And we'll see that, okay? So Charlotte here is very muscled, really good framework as a bikini competitor in general, right? She's still got a very good hourglass shape, but I think there's definitely ways she could improve this. Pulling in her midsection some more, but actually her midsection muscle, obviously she's very lean. It's not a body fat thing. It's more about the structure. And then, you know, kind of bringing, I would say, softer conditioning, and also kind of working on bringing her upper body down just a bit. I think her traps are kind of overpowering her physique as well as her shoulders. So if she was able to kind of adjust that look, could be really good. A little bit softer conditioning, showing a little too much muscle here, right? And then we look over here at Mengru, and she's got a little bit of a different effect. She looks too lower body dominant, almost more wellness-esque, if you will, right? Because her shoulders are just not popping to that degree. So she needs a little bit more shoulder size, or she needs to downsize the lower body. And you'll find that that's a really interesting thing that comes up with bikini or any of these divisions, wellness, any of that, right? Is like, you got to figure out if you got this imbalanced look, right, going on. Do you want to try to increase the smaller muscle group or downsize the bigger one? And that's where, you know, you really got to weigh some pros and cons, and hopefully you got a good coach that can help you in your corner figure that out, because that can be a whole task in itself. But for her, you know, coming in fifth, still has a really good, you know, shape, really good look for bikini, but I think her lower body's coming in too dominant. You can see her glutes look very full, her quads look full, her hamstring, everything there, very, very full, but it's just also, you know, imbalanced in my opinion. Now from the back, we get to see everything even more. There's our winner here, Dahe, obviously taking the whole show. And, you know, Charlotte, it's interesting how dominant Charlotte looked in the muscle department and the conditioning department from the front. but when we get to the back, it's just not, it's falling, you know, out of touch there in a way. Like her upper body looks clearly very dominant. That didn't go away. Like we can see her lateral delt, rear delt separation. That's pretty dang dense. That's a lot of muscle up there, but it just looks very blatantly, in my opinion, disproportionate in the lower body. Her lower body looks like it's not on the same size factor compared to the upper body, because her upper body is just so powerful. So that's one of those things where, you know, if she considers downsizing her upper body, it may favor her. Competitors out there that you have, you know, this dominant upper body, really figure out how you can reshape that, and that's going to benefit you at basically every level. She'll have better symmetry if she can bring that down. And then we look over here at Mengru, and you know, same kind of factor we talked about. Even here, her shoulders do look a bit more pronounced, but still her over body is just really overpowering. And we see the quad sweeping from the back here, which is what I talk about in my wellness videos for wellness competitors. Part of what judges even look for when they're judging wellness is they look for that quad sweep. So she's got that. So that's again an indicator to me, lower body's a little too dominant, some reshaping to be done there. So if there's anything we learned in this video today, symmetry is king and queen for bikini. And also so is nailing your conditioning, being leaner, being bigger, being more muscular, chasing the more is better looking idea does not favor you in bikini division, okay? It's not where it is, you know? That type of thing, get as big as you can, get leaner, that's women's bodybuilding, like top of the line women's bodybuilding, not, you know, we're talking about bikini division where you have to nail a certain level of conditioning and a certain level of muscularity and shape to be the best you can be on stage. So definitely a really great turnout, all great examples of criteria at the end of the day. Those are some of those facts that I think you can take with you to your preps and your pursuit of getting where you want to be. And if you need help, remember all the time, we're offering a free coaching trial. It's 1 week free. You never put any information in, never any card information, nothing. You literally just get to come try our training and get an experience. If you like these videos and you think you get a lot out of these, see what we can actually do coaching you for 1 week, right? It's a whole different level, far beyond what's being done in this, you guys. And also I want to hear your opinions. Do you think one of these other athletes in this top call out here should have won? Do you think Dahe is our winner and clearly that's the criteria, or do you think no, maybe this is a little bit off? Do you think I'm wrong? Let me know in the comments below. I love to hear it. Thank you guys for watching. Coach Rye is out.